It began on a rain-slick highway so deep in rural Pennsylvania that the streetlights faded to black behind the tree line. A lone driver, exhausted and running on caffeine, noticed a figure on the shoulder raising one pale arm. The night swallowed every sound but the hum of wet tires as he slowed to stop. She stood motionless, soaked through, her face hidden beneath her hood. The woman climbed into the back seat, whispering gratitude in a voice as thin as mist. Her clothes were outdated, maybe from another decade altogether, and her skin looked as though moonlight had seeped into it. The driver asked where she was headed, but she only murmured the name of a town an hour north. He nodded, uneasy beneath the low drone of the windshield wipers. They drove in silence, the headlights cutting through sheets of rain. He tried glancing back in the rearview, catching her reflection, pale lips, distant eyes fixed on the passing darkness. Each time he blinked, her image seemed to shimmer, like the reflection wasn't quite anchored. The radio crackled without a signal, as though the air itself was interfering. Halfway down the stretch, the woman leaned forward, her breath fogging the driver's shoulder. She whispered, almost pleading, "Please slow down near the bridge ahead, that's where it happened." Her words made no sense, but her tone carried the chill of confession. The driver felt his pulse race as he spotted the dim outline of the bridge emerging from the storm. As his tires reached the bridge's rusted rails, something surged inside him, a sense that the world had bent sideways. He glanced back to speak, and the seat was empty. Only a faint impression on the soaked upholstery remained, and the scent of rain mixed with old perfume. He slammed the brakes, heart pounding like thunder in his chest. Rain pounded harder as he stepped out of the car, scanning the narrow road, calling out. The echoes vanished into the woods with no reply, no sound of retreating footsteps, nothing at all. His flashlight beam cut through twisting mist, illuminating only a discarded scarf fluttering in a puddle. It looked decades old, its fabric fraying, color long faded. Panicked, he drove to the nearest police station and explained what had happened. The officer behind the desk lowered his glasses, nodding with a look far too calm for such a story. When the driver described the woman, the hair, the clothes, the scarf, the officer sighed quietly. He said others had told that same story for years. According to the local file, a young woman had died on that bridge in 1967, thrown from a car during an argument with her boyfriend. Her ghost, they said, appeared to passing drivers whenever the storm matched that fatal night. The police stopped investigating long ago, it was now folklore. Yet witnesses kept coming back, trembling and pale. The driver couldn't sleep for nights afterward. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her reflection varnished in raindrops, those hollow irises staring from the dark. He questioned if fatigue had hijacked his mind. But when he checked his trunk days later, the scarf lay there, neatly folded, smelling faintly of perfume. The scarf became his obsession, its threads whispering a presence when the house grew quiet. Lamps flickered near it. The air turned colder around it. It was an artifact, a ripple from something that shouldn't exist. A doorway between two realities that had grazed each other for one fleeting storm. He reached out online, posting his story, desperate for explanations beyond folklore. Replies came fast, some mocking, others eerily similar. A handful described picking up a woman in gray, others a man in uniform, all gone once the cars slowed near old bridges or graveyards. The pattern was identical in every telling. Experts of the unexplained weighed in, suggesting these encounters hinted at folds in reality, moments where time skips, and the dead misplace themselves among the living. Theories spilled about electromagnetic interference, quantum misfires, consciousness leftovers. The driver didn't care for theory, he knew how that voice had shivered his soul. Unable to let go, he returned to the bridge months later under another storm. The scene looked almost staged, same rain intensity, same smell of damp earth. He placed the scarf on the railing, letting it soak. Each drop landed like a faint heartbeat. For one instant, he thought he saw her reflection in the water below. Her silhouette appeared just beneath the surface, eyes open, lips barely moving. He leaned closer, transfixed, until a gust broke the vision apart. The scarf floated away downstream, vanishing beneath the foam. He staggered back, drenched, unsure if he had just seen her or summoned something else entirely. That night he crashed on his couch, half awake, half frozen between dream and wakefulness. The television flickered on by itself, static hissing like heavy rain. Then came a voice, faint, feminine, repeating his name from somewhere inside the static. He unplugged it, but the whisper didn't stop. The next morning, muddy footprints trailed from his front door to the couch. Smaller than his own, waterlogged, and cold. They ended at the armrest, where the scarf used to lie before drifting away. Somehow, it was back, neatly folded again, its threads damp, its scent impossible to mistake. Neighbors watched him grow distant and pale over the following weeks. Friends said he spoke to empty corners, murmuring apologies to no one. He started locking his car at night and covered all mirrors. Whatever lingered in that reflection had followed him home. Then came the final incident caught on his dashcam, a glitch he never lived to explain. Late one night, he recorded himself driving along that same rural road again. Halfway through, the camera flickered, and a new figure appeared in the passenger seat for 2 frames only. Her eyes fixed on him, sorrowful yet unblinking. When authorities found his vehicle near the bridge, it had drifted halfway off the guardrail. The driver's seatbelt was still buckled, but the seat was empty. The car idled until it ran out of gas. Only one thing remained inside, an old, soaked scarf draped across the steering wheel. Locals say you can still catch her if you travel that road during heavy rain. A shimmer in headlights, a fleeting reflection that locks eyes and vanishes when you blink. Some claim that acknowledging her seals your fate. Others insist she's searching for someone willing to listen to her final plea. Historians trace similar tales across the United States, from Illinois to Oregon. Always a lost traveler, always a wet figure, and always a driver who swears it really happened. The pattern is too perfect, too scripted to be random. It feels more like a recurring scene in a reality that occasionally rewrites itself. Paranormal investigators brought infrared scanners and electromagnetic readers to the site. Nothing unusual appeared on their lenses except temperature dips that matched the shape of a figure leaning against the bridge railing. One tool even malfunctioned permanently, its screen looping static whenever it replayed the footage. For skeptics, it's simply a myth built from exhaustion and storm-induced fear. For believers, it's evidence of a time slip, when 2 cosmic currents collide. But for those who have actually seen her, the debate doesn't matter. The experience claws at sleep for the rest of their lives. Some researchers argue that memory itself can glitch, fusing ancient news reports with modern sensory overload. Maybe the brain manifests her as a projection. But what about physical evidence, the scarf, the lingering perfume, the footprints? Facts that refuse to dissolve under rational light. Drivers passing by still report headlights flickering when crossing the bridge. Their cars stall briefly, radios turn to dead air, and some swear a figure appears in the backseat mirror for just a breath. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's the universe hiccuping through déjà vu. Storm chasers once captured footage showing an orb of pale light floating above that location. The sphere pulsed, expanded, then vanished the instant lightning struck the guardrail. Experts dismissed it as lens flare, but pixel for pixel, it resembled a human form. The file corrupted shortly after. Old townsfolk still light candles each anniversary of that storm. They speak her name quietly, believing kindness might calm what lingers between realms. If reality warped once, they reason, it might again under the same conditions. Every year, at the edge of midnight, the wind carries her faint laughter. Late-night podcasts speculate she was never human at all, but an echo, an algorithmic replay of trauma impressed into the terrain. Digital hauntings, data loops of the past replaying through consciousness. If so, it changes everything we think we know about death and data. The afterlife might only be poor signal reception. Others claim she is not trapped but searching, a traveler misplaced across timelines. When her coordinates align with ours, she surfaces just long enough to ask for help, then dissolves back into her era. It's less ghost story, more system error of existence. A cosmic fault line stitched across tonight's rain. Witness reports continue to upload to databases of the paranormal. Different names, same ending, an empty back seat. Statistically impossible, yet meticulously consistent. As if the universe periodically checks if anyone is still watching. Scientists attempt modeling the case as collective hallucination heightened by weather-induced sensory narrowing. But their formulas fail to account for physical artifacts recovered from unrelated witnesses. Scarves, pendants, even driver's licenses that belong to the long deceased. Tangible proof, or objects misplaced by overlapping dimensions. Some nights, fog pools thicker than usual. Drivers say headlights reveal footprints that end mid-air, as though someone stepped out of existence altogether. Each track dissolves seconds later, leaving no mud or trace. A territory where reality itself forgets how it's supposed to behave. Urban explorers venture to the site seeking fortune in viral fame. They live-stream the dark bridge, the rain whispering secrets across microphones. Always the same ending, a scream, a flicker, then static replacing the host's voice. The streams terminate, later uploaded by unknown accounts. Authorities eventually restricted access, placing concrete barriers and warning signs. The message is simple: do not stop. Yet reports continue from those who drive the detour. Every decade, the legend reboots, cycling through new witnesses. The glitch never closes. In the end, we have no final answers, only fragments caught in static, shadows caught in mirrors. The Vanishing Hitchhiker remains one of America's most haunting parallels to reality malfunctioning. Maybe we saw a ghost. Or maybe, for one trembling second, the simulation stuttered. As headlights fade and rain hums its eternal rhythm, remember her refrain. When the road narrows, when the fog thickens, resist the urge to stop for anyone waiting near a bridge. Because sometimes, kindness can open a door not meant for the living, and sometimes, that door never closes again.